today I'm going to show you how to build a terrarium. First of all, what is a terrarium? A terrarium is a living plant growing inside a sealed glass container. Terrariums are often a miniature landscape under glass in the form of a woodland, a desert, a tropical jungle, or your own collection of plants. So what are the best plants for a terrarium? The plants you choose will have all the same watering needs, and terrarium plants should be small. You don't want them to touch the sides of the container. And they also need to tolerate humidity and low indirect light. So, what type of terrarium do you want to build? You can build a cactus and succulent terrarium or a combination. You can build a woodland plant terrarium, a tropical plant terrarium, or an air plant terrarium. So, the first thing you need to do is find a container. You need to consider the size of the terrarium you want, the color of glass, the size of the opening, and the condition of the container. And how do you assemble it? It kind of depends on what type of terrarium you're building, but you need some type of drainage material like stone or gravel. You need, if you're building like a tropical plant terrarium, you need moss and charcoal so that it can have its own little environment and you don't have to water it very much. It prevents the soil mixture from seeping into the drainage layer. And then finally, the soil mixture. Again, if you're making a succulent terrarium, you don't need to worry about the charcoal layer. So you could build several different types. Here's an example of a woodland terrarium, a tropical terrarium, an air plant terrarium, and a succulent terrarium. So you need to check your terrarium, keep an eye out for insects to make sure it has enough light, how the moisture is looking, and the temperature. So here's the steps to assemble a terrarium. First, choose your terrarium type, choose your jar, choose your plants based on similar watering needs. Fill the jar with layers of gravel, charcoal, and soil depending on your terrarium type. Insert the plants. Insert any decorations. Clean the inside walls of the terrarium if you need to. Choose your location, and then maintain and enjoy your terrarium.
Hey friends! So today I'm making a terrarium. I've got all the things that I unpacked yesterday and I'm going to be putting it all together. So I've got my terrarium container right here. I've got all my plants here and all the different things I'm going to put inside the terrarium. We've got soil and marbles and rocks and gravel. Okay, so let's start first by putting gravel in the bottom of the container. What I'm thinking here is we're going to put gravel here and then some different color gravel and then the soil, and we'll put the sand in after all the plants have been planted to try to make a decorative kind of outline with sand. So let's start with the gravel. So I've got this kind of lighter colored gravel here and the black gravel. I think I'm going to start with the black gravel and then add this gravel on top. So let's take the black gravel and just kind of pour it in here. As the base. Then we're going to take and kind of spread it out a little bit. And we're going to take this kind of pea colored gravel and we'll go right in on top of the black gravel. Let's see how that works. So We've got our gravel here. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more to this. Okay, now we're going to add the soil. And I'm making a mess here. Maybe just one more layer of soil should do it. And I want to kind of come up a little bit higher on the back end here. So I'm going to make it a little bit higher up there. Time for the plants. So let's, there's no really special way you can do this, just whatever you feel looks good. So I think I'm gonna start with this one in the back. And we've got to be real careful when taking these out of the container. And there's a little root system, so you want to loosen it up a little bit. Careful, I've already lost a leaf. All right. We can always add a little bit more soil on top of these. Okay. Looks looking pretty good. This one is a little bit drier. Loosening up the roots here. Gotta be real careful when putting it through that hole. I'm gonna just dig a little hole for her to plant it in. I'm gonna put this beautiful one right in the middle. Look at the root structure on that. It's pretty amazing. Put this right here in the middle. Now I've got 3 plants left, so I'm thinking one right here, one right here, and one right here. I'm going to do this pink one next. These are just delicate little plants, so you gotta be real careful with them. Look at this. Okay, so I'm gonna get the last plant in there. And dig a little hole right here. One thing I'm noticing is it's kind of hard to get around the plants to kind of give them a good, get their roots down in there, because there's not very much room to work with. I think that looks beautiful. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is take some of this colored sand and put it in the terrarium around different places. So I've chosen the green sand, some blue sand, and some kind of lavender purple sand. I'm going to use a Kohl's coupon. You need something hard like this. These are not working very well. So I tried this. It did not seem to go very well, and it seemed to be even mixing a little bit with the water and looking kind of strained. So then I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna fold it in half, because I want a funnel, or I want a little kind of area to be able to, kind of like a little ramp to be able to put the colored sand in there. So let's try here at the front, and then if we like how that's going, we'll stick some in the other sides. This is a rock, and I'd really like to fit this in here at the very back. I can try not to squish everything. So there's the rock. And I've got some crystals that I'd like to put around here. Put some crystals in here at the front. And on the sides, put some more crystals over here. Some bigger crystals I'd like to put in here. So now it's just all about decorating. Maybe put one at the very, very back if I don't completely squish everything. A few little marbles here and there I'd like to place. Alright, so here's where we're at. We've got our marbles, we've got our sand, we've got a rock in the back. A few of our plants got a little beat up during the process. So now I'm just about done here. I think what I'd like to do now is kind of clean up some things. I'm going to do another quick clean of the glass around because it looks like it's got some sand. And at the very back I'd like to clean. So thanks guys for joining me today to make this awesome succulent terrarium. Here is the finished product. I think it turned out pretty well. I wanted to show you where the terrarium ended up in my house. It's had about a week to rest here. I put it in a little windowsill. Succulent terrariums need a lot of light, and so I would suggest putting it in a windowsill. But the plants look pretty happy. Have a great day, and don't forget to subscribe.